Madam President, you called the election a Russian special operation, a Russian election. You spoke of Russia's infiltration in Georgia. Are you suggesting that Moscow directly interfered in what you're calling a fraudulent election?
I don't know. It will be very difficult to say whether they directly intervened, but propaganda before the elections was a propaganda that was directly inspired from the Russian propaganda that we have seen during Putin elections. What I was mentioning when I say that this was a Russian operation, that it was a very sophisticated type of frauds. It's not new to have frauds at the elections, and we were in a way expecting some elements of that, but not to this point.
How crucial is this moment for Georgia, and why should the world be watching closely to what happens here?
It's a crucial moment because, unlike all the previous elections, we are not voting to give the power to one party instead of another one. It's not an issue of internal politics. They were voting to return Georgia to its European path, where we were up to last year when we got the candidate status. Everything seemed to be smooth and we were going in the right direction. And with the introduction of a number of what we call Russian laws, because they are directly imported, the population reacted very vehemently, and the authorities remained on the same line, and we were losing our European path. All the European leaders were very clear about the fact that if those laws were not rejected, if these elections were not to happen in a fair and democratic way, then Georgia was not going to recover its status in the European integration direction.
By calling people onto the streets, what do you hope to achieve? I mean, the election's over. The Georgian dream isn't going to turn around and say the election was unfair.
I think it's up to the Georgian population to say where it stands and what it is will. The same way as the Georgian population stood up against the Russian law, and by showing that the Georgian population was pro-European, that's why we got the candidate status. And now we need, the international community needs to see that this is not the will of the Georgian people, that the will of the Georgian people is to keep its European future.
How worried are you about Georgia's future? You have a few weeks left as president. How do you see the state of Georgia now?
Well, I think that's why this election was crucial. That's why it's crucial that the Georgian people express themselves. That's why it's crucial that our partners understand what's happening in this country, and that they have to stand with the population, with what was expressed all over and over again, and support us to come back as soon as possible on the European path, but not to support those that have taken away the vote of their population, and not to make it easy for Russia to reestablish its domination on its neighbors.